Ladies and gentlemen, today we are watching Eclipse tell us what is the hardest zombies map ever. So I believe he's doing this up till round 30, but shout out to this map.
Every single Call of Duty Zombies map from easiest difficulty to hardest. The only criteria set up for this video is how easy it is to reach round 30 or how difficult it is on each map. With that being said, let's just jump right into this. Now, it's no secret that Cold War is by far the easiest zombies game, and on top of all its other maps, I think Die Machine takes the cake for the easiest. The map has an abundance of space to train, powerful wonder weapons.
I mean, do you see the starting room that you're in right here? There's literally trees. That's it. There's like a tank, but there's plenty of space. But I'm glad they made it like that. It's knocked. People should be in here.
Shockwave to the ray gun, as well as the Cold War mechanics like kill streaks.
I thought
all of this together really just makes the map super easy.
It is
Coming into the 34th place,
Firebase
Z falls in a similar position as D Machine, only being slightly more difficult due to the boss fights that come every few rounds. Now, Forsaken is once again only slightly more challenging than the previous two maps.
Honestly, I probably would put Forsaken above Firebase Z, considering that like the Rampage Reducer on Forsaken, you can literally progress rounds without even killing zombies sometimes. It's actually broken. So I think Forsaken potentially could actually be the easiest. And you know what's also easy? Y'all learn about this sponsor because this video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. It's free to play with millions of players and over 80 million downloads, which is comparatively to a lot of games, that's a lot, man. Quality graphics for PC, console, mobile, you name it, with over 650 unique champions. I mean, come on now, how you gonna not find anything to do on this game? And I'm telling you, you're never gonna get bored with all the content updates every month. Now, I'm gonna bring you guys with some old Mr. T Lex Fly content, coming in with a top 3 reasons to play Raid. Coming into our #1 spot, this is billions of ways to customize and build your champion. Okay, now coming into our #2 spot, you got tons of awesome bosses to take on and good graphics or whatever you prefer. And coming into our #3 spot, this is the new Valentine's Day event. Love is in the air, even in the world of Raid. New players can enjoy a special Valentine's Day themed adventure with the Raid Love Quest. All you need to do to get involved is to download Raid Shadow Legends from the links below, copy your in-game player ID, and then head to raidlovequest.plarium.com. There, enter your player ID and set out on the heartfelt quest running until March 14th. Play one of the Valentine's themed minigames for a chance to win some fantastic in-game and real-life prizes, including a Valentine's themed Raid champion and even Amazon gift cards up to $1,000. And if you're an old player, don't worry about it too. You can go to raidlovequest.plarium.com to redeem a special promo code with a bunch of items with St. Valentine 2030. Click my link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to unlock unique bonuses worth $30, including free champion Conaroo. Anyways, let's jump right back into the video.
Now, finishing off the Cold War maps, Mauer's is the
Mauer's the hardest, but it's still
most difficult of the 4 maps on Cold War. Coming in at the 31st place, I think Revelations has to take it due to its large map design and overpowered perma-perks. Also, I forgot to mention, it has literally the 2 most overpowered wonder weapons we've ever seen in zombies on one map. Now, when you think of easy zombies maps, Ascension surely is somewhere in your map.
Yeah, any map with the Thunder Gun should be here. I agree. The Thunder Gun is like one of the best wonder weapons for any player.
So the map was on Black Ops 1, which is a little bit more difficult of a game, but it is one of the most wide-open maps we've ever seen. So if you want a casual game of zombies, Ascension is pretty much the go-to. Now, Tegdertoten, I have to say, is the
Tog. True, I agree with the Helios
easiest map on Black Ops 4 due to the different strategies you can use for spawns and abusing the spawns on the Black Ops 4. Also, the Black Ops 4 systems, like the perks and the overpowered specialist weapons, make the game really easy. Now, Drazendrak is another very casual...
DE, honestly, yeah, man. Anything with like a lot of easily accessible wonder weapons should be here.
So map that most people enjoy playing. It's really easy due to the huge pool of camping spots and overpowered wonder weapons and all the bows. I would have to say that Dead of the Night takes...
Dead of the Night, wow. Honestly, I have to disagree with this one, even though I know it's extremely easy. I'm disagreeing solely because I don't think many people know how to play this map. But if you did know, and we're ranking them on his criteria, yeah, I could say you get free ammo here. This is silver bullet ammo. You can just purchase ammo infinitely. It's like Cold War, but on Black Ops 4.
It's the number 27th place, just being honestly, a little bit more difficult than Drazendrak is. Now, Buried is another one of those maps that
Buried, I have to disagree, but I mean, with his criteria to round 30, yeah, it's pretty easy. But if we're doing round 100, I'd definitely put Buried a lot lower, considering that you have to use buildables to get to round 100.
Comes to mind when you think of a casual zombies experience. The map honestly has a really tight design with not too many open areas to train, so you'd kind of think it's difficult, but this is very far from the case.
It can be difficult.
The map is super easy because the overpowered features it includes, like the traps or the paralyzer wonder weapon that literally lets you fly away from the zombies. True. Now, the 25th most difficult zombies map has to go to the iconic Kino der Toten. It's not necessarily super easy, but it has a decent amount of training space, an overpowered wonder weapon, and super predictable zombie spawns. Now, this is probably going to be a bit of a controversial pick.
Origins being here, I think, is fine, man. You got the stats.
But I have to say, number 24 goes to Origins.
That's what I'm saying. Now, if you put Dead of the Night higher and Origins lower, I mean,
the early game in Origins can be a little difficult due to things like the premature Panzer spawns and the Templar zombies that take your pack-a-punch. Outside of these, though, the map is pretty simple. You can just build the ice staff and sit in one place for the first 70 rounds of your game. Now, Shadows of Evil, I wasn't too sure where to rank this one, but
Shadows, I think, is a fair spot to put here, man. The Apothicon Servant is the best wonder weapon of all time, so yes, it should be up in the easier
I think spots. I got a good place for it. The map can be very difficult for any new players, but to others, it quickly becomes easy once you kind of understand how to set up. The map gives you tons of tools to get you through the rounds.
And you have Beast Mode, right? Like, Beast Mode is a huge deal. I also think Mob of the Dead should be coming up soon because of 3 afterlives. You potentially can have 3 quick revives at the same time. That just makes it so
Features
easy.
The most overpowered wonder weapon we've ever seen, a wide variety of broken...
Interesting to show that the fan favorite maps are usually some of the easier ones. It just shows that features and difficulty are very different in terms of zombies.
Gobblegums, and even one of the best specialist weapons we've ever seen being the sword. Now, the number 22 play...
Call of the Dead! Okay, up till round 30... I have to disagree. I think Call of the Dead should actually... If we're doing round 100, Call of the Dead would be number 1. Just because of the Scavenger not being one to hit, you're using the VR11. Nobody's even gotten around 100 solo, so yeah.
Place has to go to Call of the Dead. In my opinion, this is the first map on my list that actually poses somewhat of a challenge. All the maps prior
is very much of a challenge. No traps either. This map is like the layout's big and it takes long to go through the rounds because the spawns are everywhere, so
really easy. Now the map does have plenty of room to train, but the fog and George are enough to balance out the odds and make it a little bit more difficult. Alongside this though, there's also the lack of supplies to do high rounds. The map features some of the weakest wonder weapons we've ever seen and no traps to back it up. Moving on to our number 21 place.
9. Interesting. I mean, the wonder weapon on 9's kind of bad, but I just believe that, listen, like, BO4 and Cold War truly are the easiest maps because of the Helion Salvo. That Helion Salvo is better than most wonder weapons. So
which goes to Black Ops 4's map 9. This was the launch map for Black Ops 4, and it did their job really well. The map has one of the easiest to understand designs, being that it is perfectly symmetrical no matter where you are. The only thing that really makes the map challenging is the lack of space for movement. The only real...
Also, I think Alpha Omega should be here. I would love to do this for a round 100 list because Alpha Omega would be one of the easiest. You just get the ballistic knife. You don't even need to turn on pack punch, and you can get to round 100.
Place that there's room to train is the arena, but you have to worry about the stupid fire traps that can often kill you. Now, Die Rise is another one of those
Die Rise deserves to be here.
Maps. It is super easy, but it also has a little bit of a challenge on the side. Don't get me wrong, round 30 can be super easy with things like the AN-94 and the Slickfire that you can both get on round 1. But
honestly, I think the Die Rise should actually be a little bit lower than this list. I think just because you barely need anything. You need 4 perks, not even. You need Jug and Speed Cola for the strat and Quick Revive. Jug, Speed Cola, Quick Revive, and the Slickfire, and that's it. You'll get max ammos. Like, it's stupid easy.
On the other hand, the map has tons of parkour areas that can often kill you and end your game, so it becomes a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, and I mean, with our remaster, we definitely will be keeping this easy difficulty. I mean, it wouldn't be Die Rise.
Now, the first of the survival maps to come up on this list is Town. It's a super simple...
To be honest, man, for round 100s, these are the worst. These should be number 1, 2, and 3, because round 100s on these is spamming the ray gun and spamming the box, so no fun in that. But to round 30, I can agree. For a casual aspect, I can
map with only base features like the mystery box, pack-a-punch, and a few different perk machines scattered throughout. Don't let that fool you though. Town can be rather challenging due to its small map size. There's only really one area to train on the map, and it prevents you from even getting Speed Cola because you have to keep a certain door closed. Now, although it's on Black Ops 4, Blood of the Dead is a little bit more challenging of a map.
Blood of the Dead should be here though, considering you don't even have to use a wonder weapon at all. The wonder weapon's only used to kill Brutus. All you have to do is spam a trap in New Industries. That's it. It's so brain dead.
Which is why it takes up the number 18th place.
The trap acts as a monkey
Also, I
bomb.
believe Ancient Evil to be only slightly more difficult than Blood.
Ancient Evil I do agree is more difficult than Blood of the Dead. However, you have to use a lot of elixirs to spam your hands because there's no really good camping spots I find on this map. You basically just have to spam the Charon Gauntlet a lot, which is the Blood Gauntlet. So
Blood of the Dead. Zetsubo takes up the number 16th place, being one of the more challenging maps on.
Zetsubo's not too bad. I mean, I find doing the Easter egg and then just spamming the KT4 in that long tunnel area pretty much puts you in a great position. I will say, though, the Thrashers are the hardest mini-boss yet.
Black Ops 3. This is due to the complex map designs with tons of tight locations and a ton of doors you have to open up to get the map set up. Now,
I agree, and there's a lot to do.
Farm is a very similar situation to Town in that it's a bare-bones survival map, but
Farm, I agree. I guess in a casual sense, to get to round 30 should be here.
It's considerably more difficult. It's difficult,
but for round 100, this would be like number 1 or 2. Probably number 2. I think the hardest zombies map ever to get round 100 on is obviously Call of the Dead because it hasn't been possible, and probably Bus Depot. So
comes that it doesn't have quite as much space as Town to get around, and it doesn't host nearly as many features like some of the perks and Pack-a-Punch Machine. Without this stuff, it's just kind of harder to make it to round 30. Now, Alpha Omega comes in and takes the 14th place as one of the most difficult maps throughout all of Black Ops 4.
Interesting. Listen, I agree in terms of just casual play, but once you know that ballistic knife strat, it's literally the easiest map. You need the 4 perks, so I guess it's not as easy as some of the other maps. But like Die Rise, but yeah.
Above it though is Grodkovia, which
GK deserves to be here. GK is the hardest BO3 map. I mean, round 71.
Which is by far the most difficult map on all of Black Ops 3. The map features tons of tight locations, a wonder weapon on the weaker side of the spectrum, and tons of boss type zombies to slow you down on your way. All of that is
tons of bosses. Honestly, Garad is very similar to Firebase Z with the boss man.
What makes Grodkovia a little bit more challenging than all the other Black Ops 3 zombies maps. Now, Nuketown is yet another survival map.
Nuketown also is one of the harder maps because, again, for round 100, you have to do the ray gun spam box strat. But for round 30, honestly, I wouldn't even say it's that easy. I would say it's difficult because you have to wait for Jug, man. Nuketown is a hard map.
Following a very similar design to Town, but the map is considerably more difficult than the others, mostly due to the poor perk system it features. Basically, perks just spawn in at random every couple of rounds, so you can't really get Jug early game half the time. Now, Mob of the Dead can be super easy, but it also can be challenging. The map itself is super big with a super tight layout and almost no space to train except the
I do agree in terms of the map layout, but in terms of the round 100 strat, when you get 3 afterlives essentially, dude, it's just so
cafeteria.
good.
But on the other hand, the afterlife system and the overpowered features in the map like the Hell's Redeemer kind of balance it out and make it considerably more bearable. Now, Darius takes the number 10 spot, and I believe this is well deserved. Now, for the sake of the video, it is important to note that
Darius is pretty difficult. I will say the World at War is a lot harder. The BO3 one, it really just depends. The BO3 one's very easy, but like I said, it depends. The World at War one,
I'm referring to just the World at War version of the map. And let me just tell you, it is one of the most unforgiving things you will ever experience.
Very difficult. You can have so many game-breaking bugs delete you. I agree. It deserves to be here.
World at War has zombies that hug you, a wonder weapon that kills you, and not to mention Quick Arrive that doesn't even work when you're on solos.
Exactly.
All of this added together in the small map layout of Darius is kind of what makes the map difficult. Now,
it's horrifying, honestly.
Although Shinonuma is the easiest map for high rounding, I believe the map is actually quite challenging for the early game.
I will say, honestly, I agree. I think more so on the BO1 version. The World at War version, dude, you literally just grab the PPSH and you can never die. That's the thing. Like, I get why people were hyping up the PPSH. On this map specifically, it's insane. You get the PPSH and the Wonderwaff, Jug and Speed Cola, you're good for 10,000 rounds, literally.
Now, you got to remember, this is only based on World at War's version of Shinonuma, and I'm trying to base it off how easy it is to achieve round 30, not round 1000. The issue with Transit comes in the fact that if you take it down, it is nearly impossible to get back onto your feet. Once you get down, say in Farm or whatever, you have to run through the fog in order to go get Jug.
Transit deserves to be up in the top 10. This map blows. I've given up to even try going for a round 100 just because I absolutely despise using the jet gun. So, yeah, this map sucks.
And you literally can't because there's lava, denizens, and a bunch of other stuff that'll end up killing you. So in the long run, if you take a death in Transit, you're most likely game over. Now, Moon is one of those maps that I would consider to be on par with Transit. Don't get me wrong, Moon has tons of space to train, but it's also paired with a ton of annoying problems like the Jug system, Astronaut, and the Excavators. That's not even to mention the annoying gravity system that makes the zombies literally fly into your face.
I can agree with that. The round 100 strat, you basically just kill them all in a window. It's definitely very easy on BO3, but BO1 I can understand.
Now, Voyage of Despair takes number 6 while being the most difficult map.
Voyage is, I believe, the hardest BO4 map, considering the Krakens are all garbage, and it's just not a fun map to play. So yeah, honestly, I agree. It's easily the hardest BO4 map.
Wrote all of Black Ops 4. The Black Ops 4 systems make it a little bit easier with the overpowered specialist weapons, but the map is extremely tight with minimal space.
Easier for round 30, not so much to round 100, man. You're dying in those high rounds
to move around. Also, it has one of the most lackluster wonder weapons I've ever seen.
Now, literally, I will always say this every time. I went to Treyarch to play BO4 early. I picked up the Kraken, and I was like, is this even the wonder weapon? I literally asked that to Jason Lindell's face, and it's just sad.
Now, the top 5. This brings us into the truly difficult zombie maps. In the top 5, I have to start us off with Nocturne Toten, and remember, I'm referring to the World at War version of the map. The zombies hug you, you get no perks, you only get hit twice, and you're guaranteed a game over. All of this adds up.
Noc's pretty hard, I agree. It deserves to be here. However, the round 100 strat, you basically just need to know how to run with a flamethrower. If you can do that, pretty much, like the world record for round 100 on Noct actually is an hour 45 minutes. So pretty easy, man.
In a tight little bunker that you have no space to turn around and makes the map very difficult on solo. Now, being a little bit more difficult than Noct, we have Black Ops 1 Shangri-La. This map boasts some of the most annoying bosses we've ever.
BO1 Shang. Shang is very difficult. This round 100 I struggled on, even with the baby gun being one of the best wonder weapons ever. This is a hard round 100
ever seen, as well as a bunch of annoying traps that'll kill you around the map. Also, I think it has one of the tightest map designs we've ever seen in a zombies map.
Yeah, like look at this room he's running in, bro. I think my office is bigger than that.
One thing that makes it actually bearable is the fact that it has a plausible wonder weapon, unlike the maps to come. It gives you the baby gun, which is guaranteed.
Could you imagine Shang without the baby gun, though? This map would suck. It would easily be number 1.
The insta-kill if you have something like Semtex grenades or Mustang and Sally's to go with it. I would say that 5 is practical.
5 deserves to be here. 5 is hard. And you're not using wonder weapons to kill. You're using the awful lot to get rid of the zombies, and you're using the traps, and you're hoarding in the spawn room of this map. Okay, buddy.
Basically the same difficulty as Shangri-La, with the only major difference being the wonder weapons. 5 has the same tight map design as Shangri-La, but no annoying bosses to come with it. It also boasts literally the worst wonder weapon we've ever seen in zombies. Trust
literally the worst.
me, it's not even worth using this thing to get.
The VR11 is better. I agree.
To kill on round 15. The lack of wonder weapon or way to kill zombies is the reason that this map is a little bit more difficult than Shangri-La. Now, coming in at number 2, Wrecked has had a long-standing name as one of the most difficult zombies.
Do I agree with this? Is it harder than 5? Personally, I don't think so, because you get the Wonder Waff on the BO3 version. The BO1 version, you get the Winter's Howl, so yeah, it's bad. And the World at War version, I can't remember. I think it's just the ray gun. So yeah, the OG versions are really tough on this map, I won't lie. But on BO3, it's doable.
Maps ever. It once again boasts the same difficult map layout, being super tight like 5 and Shangri-La, with constant tight corridors along the way. But with the tight map design, it also has some of the most unpredictable zombie spawns we've ever seen, which makes it even harder. This is because the zombies will start spawning ahead of you and get you stuck in these tiny little tight hallways. Now, I would have to say that the most difficult zombie map award has to go to Bus Depot. It is a simple.
I agree. That's actually what I said. It's the hardest round 30 and the hardest round 100. It's town with no perks. You're on a 2-hit down system with lava. The only thing you're getting to high rounds with is Ray Gun and Ray Gun Mark II. Yeah, it's hard. Somebody's gotten to round 100, but they grinded this for 100 hours without getting 2-hit down, which actually astounds me. So shout out to them. Bus Depot
survival map that holds nothing but a mystery box and a couple different wall bots.
I agree.
Yes, you heard me right. The map doesn't even host perk machines or a pack-a-punch machine. Alongside the limited resources, the map is also very small with very limited space, and you only get a 2-hit down since there's no chug on the map. All of this makes it the most difficult zombies map on all of Treyarch Zombies.
Without a doubt, bro. Shout out to Eclipse, bro. Y'all gotta check him out. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be ending the video here. Thank you again so much for coming out, and I will see y'all, ladies and gentlemen, in that next one, baby.